I am Kalpesh Savla. I'm CEO of Neova Solutions.
Pratap Nambiar, I'm VP Engineering.
Hey, I'm Anup Nakhate, Engineering Manager and Architect.
I am Jayankar, I'm AI Solutions Architect.
Let's see, how does Neova use AI expertise to solve real-world problems?
So let's talk about some real examples of customer solutions that we were able to create based on our experience that we've been working with, and also solutions that we have created, which we were able to actually suggest to them as solutions, and then we'll provide actually as either products or as solutions that they were able to extend significantly. Pratap, do you want to expand on the solutions that we built?
Sure. Okay. So basically, we have a few solutions that we have already given to our customers. In one solution, we had helped the customer migrate from their existing application to their application, and we also have a few solutions that we have implemented for a health provider. So Ajay, you want to just begin and explain, give a idea about what you have done in the healthcare?
Sure. Thanks. Yeah. So basically, there was a need where real-time transcription was required, and not only transcription, with the complexity of throwing in translation as well. So let's assume that there is communication happening between two different people having different languages, and that is where the transcription is to be done. Let's consider it is for a doctor and a patient, and it needs to go to EHR. So what we did was we did real-time speech to text, translated it to the required language, again text to speech, and we were able to basically extract the gist of the communication and put it into EHR format so that it can be taken to the EHR solutions. So that is one solution. The other solution which you mentioned was, I would let Anu lead the explanation because he was in the middle of it.
Sure. So it is a migration solution. So one of our customer who is having an automation product is having wants to deploy their solution on to the customer's premises, and customer is already having some other solution for automation. So they really want to migrate all the data and all the configuration which the earlier solution was using to their own solution. This is a typical migration job, and they have multiple competitors. Like, it's not one competitor where you can simply streamline one thing as a single code base and then things are migrated. So sometimes it's XML. There are multiple forms of XML which are available there. Sometimes it's a JSON file. Sometimes it's just plain text file or properties files kind of stuff. So based on these different type of requirements, we came up with the idea like, they came up with the idea, can you give us some kind of AI solution which will help us to migrate the data and the configuration for their application. So what we have done is we have trained the model. We have used the LLM model, trained it locally, and then provided the solution based on that. So whatever configuration they are having with the previous version or their competitors' product, that configuration gets migrated to their own product, and that really saves time. They were having like multiple thousand lines of codes written in Java, and that is kind of going away. And the solution is also very fast. If there are a lot of jobs which are automated, it was taking 3 to 4 months to convert those jobs. And now with this particular solution, the time is reduced to some weeks, couple of weeks.
Understand? Yeah. What I understand from this is, I think most important aspect is the onboarding of the new applications, where the configurations need to be mapped.
Okay.
So the process can be streamlined. It can be enhanced with more further details in terms of samples getting added. So yeah, it has added value. Similar kind of one solution which I would like to basically culture also to elaborate on is one where we actually were working with digital marketing guys, where they wanted the content to be generated in the manner in which the authors actually write the content for their posts or newsletters. Do you remember, Kalpesh?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a digital marketing company where there were authors which were writing content on behalf of their customers or news articles that would create based on the current news that is out there related to a product. And this was constrained by the fact of availability of these authors or writers. And so it would take a long time for them to be able to do that, and they were at the mercy of number of writers to be able to do that. With AI, we were able to assist them to be able to write this content in a format which resonated with the format that or the type that these authors were writing, thereby giving personalization towards these content writing. Right? So it was a very interesting use case, and at the end of the day, they would then quickly review it to ensure that accuracy of the data, and also because of this aspect of personalization, it gave a feeling of that it was not an AI-generated content, but it was actually written by an author, which significantly helped improve their visibility on their website. So I think hyper-personalization is something I'm seeing now happen a lot, where AI is starting to move into these areas where your solutions have to be personalized, hyper-personalized to individuals for us to be able to use these. For example, agents coming into play, and we can see this now where there will be specific agents which will understand me as a person, understand the way I do things, and then be able to help me in the manner that I'm able to do. So agentic AI is happening, but hyper personalization is something I'm seeing come into play very, very soon. And we'll be working on some solutions towards that as well.
Yeah, similarly to like based on hyperpolarization, we also had a niche case where what happens is most of the CEOs need reports to be generated dynamically for the data which is there. And what happens is every person's need is different, or every person's way of looking at the same report is different. And if we can provide an assistant where basically you just throw a natural language query and you have a visualization which enables you to drill down. Remember, Pratap, we had done something called dynamic dashboards, where a natural language query actually can be triggered. You can fill in the details.
Sure, because as AI advances, what happens is people want to interact more and more with AI natural language. So the solution that we try to develop is what gives even the business users, the non-technical users, the capability to just interact with data in the way they want and get the chart they want, the visualization they want, which helps them even drill down into the specific data they're looking for. I think that is a very powerful tool for somebody who wants to look at data at any level in the organization based on where they are. So that's a nice solution development.
What actually culminated of at the end of that solution was there was no reason for basically sending the generic frequently generated reports in the email inbox.
Yeah.
So the email was not getting flooded with a whole lot of reports which were generated weekly, daily, or on this basis. So similar kind of assistance can be provided in a lot of workflows, not only for specific content search, like one example we took where we actually were looking for specific content in generals which are maintained by a company for their internal documents.
Customers are using this very effectively to kind of provide interface for either their customers, their employees, to look into their knowledge bases and contents that they have created, which can be used for multiple purposes, right? For example, an HR department, makes data available for their employees to search about policies that they might have in the organization. Using that simple interface, so that people don't have to come to them for simple, queries regarding policies within the company. Customer service people, for example, are deploying this so that customers can on their own selves search for stuff and find content which might be available either in videos, as you mentioned, or in other knowledge bases, right? So these are all very interesting and obvious, I would say, use cases that people are using, which significantly enhances and simplifies workflows and takes away time away from non-essential things which now AI can easily provide. We have experimented with a lot of different models, right? From ChatGPT, OpenAI's models to Llama models and others, right? And then we did do RAG and RAFT and other things. Ajay, like what do you see? Like where are these things going? So where personalization is coming.
Yeah, so mostly personalization, whenever we talk about, it's like driven by content. So when we talk about content which is existing or which is basically currently being captured on the fly dynamically, that is where RAG wins hands-on. But what happens is sometimes the RAG just retrieval of the data from vector stores based on certain parameters doesn't help to get to the right conclusion. In that case, what we have understood is if we fine-tune the existing models, same off-the-shelf existing models with certain data, and that data which is not basically taken from a specific source but across the diverse geography and demographics, which is unbiased specifically, then in that case what happens is we can fine-tune using RAFT, and we can actually train slowly steadily to come to a particular consistent accurate resolution which the user is looking for. The keywords here which I would like to emphasize on is mostly consistency and accuracy, because what happens is the way we interact, a human interacts with the AI, every time the AI LLM model can respond to the same question in different manner. Now that is where if you want consistency, accuracy, and say kind of reliance on that solution, RAG and RAFT play a major role. But what we have understood is it's not only about RAG and RAFT. We basically can provide samples, so it can be one shot, few shot. There are multiple ways to basically train a model, which I have seen kind of going hand in hand, working towards a proper solution which actually is usable. I will not say it's 100% reliable to take to production as of now, because there are certain cross checks and balances which need to be taken care of. But yes, majority of the stuff, mundane tasks can be easily managed and right resolutions can be derived. So one more example which I was actually thinking of when we were talking about reliability. The reliability generally comes with the dynamic dashboards as well. Like if you are portraying data which is finite coming from certain data sources, now that brings me to the data sources. What AI agent which you mentioned earlier actually enable us is to connect to multiple diverse data. Basically what we understood was internally the agents, different agents can get connected to different data sources. It can be your own local knowledge base. It can be basically externally remote database or data lakehouse or data warehouse, which actually has been over a period of time accumulated a lot of content which is specific to an organization, which is useful enough. The only question is how to basically reach out to it and get the right context driven resolution out of it. That is where I think again AI agent helps. Not only that, we have seen AI agent can actually use deducing logic exactly like a human being. It can even explain that logic to us, that this is what I did to basically solve this query. This is where I went out to reach out to those particular external sources. This is the data which I got. This is what I did with abbreviations. This is what I did with whatever data is there, and this is the summarized gist of that content. So this has a lot of potential, not only in terms of bringing out interoperability in terms of different data stores, databases, remote, internal, external, on-prem, doesn't matter, and getting the right resolution to the end user at the end of the day. So I think there's a lot of potential, and if you look at the current AI trends, a lot of similar kind of functionality introduced, innovated every now and then. One use case which I would like to bring forth here is it is related to customer experience and support.
Right.
What happens is there are a lot of support mails which are coming, and there are a lot of mails which actually need to be catered to in terms of autoresponders. That okay, your ticket has been raised, this is the reference number, and this is where the turnaround time is within 24 hours. You will hear from us. Such kind of things also can be automatically driven by these data sources, resolutions which are off the shelf, which are already been tried and tested. So you remember that case where actually there's an aggregator which brings out support tickets from all the disparate systems, bring it together, and each incident, we can call instead of a ticket, gets a starting point, gets an end point if it is resolved. If it is not resolved, is in process. The data and the overall gist of that information is captured in a simple manner, where we don't have to go to multiple inboxes and find out details. So similar kind of use cases are very powerful, where AI agents can actually work.
Like, share, and subscribe for more informative AI and tech talks.